From Mamma Mia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick.
And I'm Em Burnham.
And welcome to an episode that has been months and months in the making. The build-up has been intense. Even now, my heart is beating so fast. I've been waiting so long for this moment. Do you think I'm joking for the amount we talk about this show?
Absolutely not. I wish you were.
Exactly. Well, strap in, everyone. Grab a beret or whatever they say in Paris.
A croissant?
A croissant. Honestly, we're about to be banned
Grab
from
an
France.
Eiffel Tower, maybe?
Yes, well, famously, people in Paris, in France, don't like this show. But here in Australia, we love basic things.
Yeah.
And so we love it.
We don't care.
So welcome to our brutally honest review of Emily in Paris Season 5.
Emily in Paris.
Which is what a lot of people are like, that's how you're supposed to say it. Like, no one on the show pronounces it that way.
Oh, that is how you're meant to say it. It just rolls off the tongue.
It does. So obviously this came out back in December before we went on our break and we did a very extensive weekend watch section on it there. But we also needed, because with a brutally honest review, if this is your first time here, this is the episode where we dissect every moment of a new season of TV or a movie. So we're doing all the different spoilers, cliffhangers, the ending, what we think is going to happen next. So we needed all of you listeners at home to watch the full season multiple times, hopefully, like I did.
Yeah. You can do it. It's 10 episodes.
We need everyone to watch it first, which is why we're doing our brutally honest review now. And also, just a little behind the scenes, we did bump it last week for Heated Rivalry. It was supposed to be our first week back, but then Heated Rivalry
took off
our recommendations, I want to say, became a worldwide sensation. So if you haven't listened to that brutally honest review, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, we'll link it in our show notes. It was so much fun. We had Tina Burke, our pop culture editor, on, who is literally so obsessed with that show.
Exactly.
It was so much fun. But I feel like that's like kind of, I guess, the beauty of like doing brutally honest reviews is because when we initially talk about a show or movie, it's usually in a weekend watch because it's come out that week. And then sometimes shows and movies that we didn't expect just explode.
Yeah.
And we actually talked about Heated Rivalry twice and that just exploded. And then we were like, oh, well, now we have to do a brutally honest review. Yeah. So we do give you time to watch it. Emily in Paris, you had a lot of time to watch it.
Yeah, but we knew Emily would wait, that old reliable show that we all watched together. So season 5, the stakes could not have been higher because for the first time ever...
There was zero stakes.
No, the stakes were high, Emily, because for the first time ever, we started off with Emily not in Paris, but in Rome.
Emily in Roma.
Which is what it came up on the title card. Did you squeal? I squealed.
I didn't squeal.
Okay,
but I knew you would have squealed. Like, I wish I could watch it with you.
Oh.
Even though I know I'm not invited. It's like a sacred sister bond thing.
No,
but if I could be like a fly on the wall in those moments, that would be amazing.
No, because because obviously I always watch this with my sister because of our whole history of watching the show together. So I went to the Sunshine Coast to watch it with her.
And you watched it after all of us.
Yeah, I did. I had to wait to the last week of December. But no, because she lives in a share house with other doctors. And so we had like a whole, it's kind of like Grey's Anatomy, but I'm assuming less hookups. So we just watched there's a bunch of us watching on the couch, 4 girls and a guy, and not everyone had seen it. So
like Grey's Anatomy.
Before it started, I had to do that. I had to do like what I did with you in Beetlejuice, where as Beetlejuice 2 started, we're in the cinema and Emily turns to me and goes, wait, what's Beetlejuice about? The first movie. So I did something very impressive, which is I summarized the whole movie in like 3 minutes, but very intensely. So before Emily...
And it helped.
I think otherwise you would have been lost.
I'd have been so lost.
So for Emily in Paris season 5, just before we started, I said, okay, for people in the room, I'm a guest at this house. And some of these people I've met for the first time. But I'm still like, okay, if anyone's on a cross, this is where we're at. And this is why it's important. This is going to happen. And this is what we're looking for. Okay, is everyone ready? Let's go. And then we watched it.
And did they love it?
Yeah. I mean, there were questions like, what is happening? And I was like, so fair. Who is that man?
I thought you said she was in Paris.
Why is she doing this? All valid questions. So season 4 ended with Emily being assigned to run the Agents Grotto Rome office because looked like they had secured the Moratoria account, which is a huge fashion label. And obviously Emily was also romantically entangled with the son of this house, Marcello.
And it's like a very... old school exclusive fashion label where they operate out of this tiny town in Italy and they're like and they're very like pedantic about where their product lies.
Yes, and there was this whole thing too because Emily had a moment with Gabriel, but obviously they were broken up and he was like going to go and chase her to Rome. And also the biggest cliffhanger of all time, like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones could never. The biggest cliffhanger of all time. At the end of season 4, Emily starts to delete her Instagram and she deletes Emily in Paris and does Emily in Rome and then cut to black.
Yeah,
huge. So the beginning of season 4 almost mirrors the beginning of season 1, in which I thought was a beautiful way, where we had the scene of her opening the window and you had that magic look of her on her face that she had in season 1 when she had the first look of Paris, which is when the show really kicks off when she flies there from Chicago. And this time we had a kind of mirror incident with that in Rome. And kind of interesting where all our players are. So you have Emily and Marcello, like, they let us know straight away, very firmly together, like practically living together, in business together. Mindy's overseas in China doing her pop star thing.
Yeah.
Gabriel's at his restaurant. And also we've had a bit of a character switch up this season, which is that the actress who plays Camille, whose name is also Camille in real life, was written out of the show by Darren Star, the creator, and Alfie, played by Lucien Laviscont. Hot.
Oh my God.
Hot name, hot man, everything about that
He's
man.
the most good looking man.
I know. When we were watching him, not to skip ahead, when I was on a couch with 4 other women watching this and he was doing the dance with Mindy and they're like, oh, his arms are too much. I'm like, no, they're just enough.
They're perfect arms.
Perfect. He's way too tiny to have such big arms. But that's fine. I feel like he's going to tip over. He's not like balanced. He's not proportioned correctly.
Leave him alone.
So Darren Star didn't really go into it, but he said they wrote Camille out because her storyline came to a natural ending, which I do hope she pops up in future seasons, because I just want a little cameo of her like pushing a really chic baby carriage, because she was going off to adopt a baby down the streets of Paris and just like not thinking of Gabrielle and
I really
Emily.
liked it. She's also the one who had the most realistic sense of style.
Yeah, well, she's a proper French lady.
Yeah.
Also, everyone's like, and can you believe she's never acted before? And I was like, I can. No, she's great. No shade to her, but I can.
She's good.
Yeah,
she's good.
She was just like, yeah, I'll do this. I'm chic and cool, and this is
just like, I guess.
And she's like, and no one in France is going to watch this, so I'm fine. So Lucien Laviscont we have written in as a full character because he wasn't really in the last season, and that's because Darren Star, like the rest of us, obsessed with him and his character and wanted to bring him back for a storyline I did not care for, which we'll get into.
Yeah, but I am glad he did have a main character.
Yes.
Like main-ish character arc in this season, because I think when we didn't see him much last season, except that was that last season when he was suddenly engaged?
Well, no, he wasn't engaged. He was
going to propose.
That was a really beautiful scene where Emily in Paris has beautiful scenes, shocking, where Emily had broken up with Gabrielle because he left her on the ski slope, and she's like, you're always going to choose her. Fair. And then she got back to Paris and she saw Alfie and she thought it was like a sign that maybe she's meant to be with him, and she's like, do you want to go get a drink or come to this party? And he was like, oh, I'm going in to meet my girlfriend, her parents.
And she also left her suitcase.
Yeah. And then, you were really stuck on that.
Because as we learned from The Summer I Turned Pretty, you can't just leave your suitcase around.
Oh my God, our entire
Belly and Emily are having such different experiences in Paris.
Exactly, no one would steal Emily's suitcase. I mean, they would if the plot demanded it. Oh my, we're having such terrible flashbacks of our brutally honest review of season 4 where that was all you talked about was her suitcase.
It's traumatized me, that's for sure.
We'll link that in our show notes. I don't recommend you
and
listen.
It's like Summer I Turned Pretty was an answer to that, and I got really satisfied from that situation.
You're like, this is a realistic moment of a woman abroad leaving her bag lying around. And then Emily cried in the street because then she had 2 men, then she had no one.
Yeah. But also that was like a wake-up call to her.
Yeah.
Going, you can't just jump from this man to this man to this man just because I don't want you.
Yes, she can.
No,
and she does,
can't.
which we love.
And sometimes when you're heartbroken, what do you have to do? Leave.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Rome.
Yeah.
So it's also, good that Alfie was in as a main character because we had a leading man position available. And that is because Lucas Bravo, who plays Gabriel,
also
chef hot. Yeah.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Out of all of the seasons of Lucas Bravo's hair, this one's the best one.
Can I tell you what I've heard on the streets?
It's a wig.
No. Maybe. But let's definitely start that rumor.
I was like, you're about to break my heart right now.
No. I heard on the streets that he got told by production to like get hotter for this season because he was like letting himself go. So the first time you see him when he appears like in Rome, it's like spray tan, new hair, he's buff, he's got a new outfit. He's had a next top model makeover.
Yeah, he looks really, really good. I want to see him with a buzz cut.
Well, that could be that.
I think he has the neck for a buzz cut.
Yeah.
Oh, just imagine.
I have a lot of questions about what that means, but moving right along. So there was
Yeah, let's move on.
So there was a rumor he was not returning to Emily in Paris because he's been quite outspoken about not loving the
He
show.
doesn't like the show at all.
Okay, I was going to be nice about it. But
He hates Emily in Paris.
yeah, and he's like, oh, it's so hard to walk around France. I get people chasing me, too much fame. And I'm like, dude, no one in France watches this show.
No, you're fine.
So you might be
I think
getting
you're just a bit
chased
embarrassed
by American tourists, but no one else is chasing you.
He's doing like a Robert Pattinson with Twilight.
Yeah, he doesn't appreciate the franchise he's in.
Exactly.
So he, has been sort of talking it down a little bit. And then there was also rumors that he wouldn't be in this season. And then Darren Star, the creator of the show, was asked in an interview with Deadline about it. And he tried to really, like, Darren Star's been in the game a long time. Sex and the City, Younger. This man has like helped create all of my favorite TV shows. And he like very professionally tried to just brush it off and was like, no, I think there was a misunderstanding. He didn't mean he didn't like the show. He was never not coming back. He was always coming back for this season. I'm like, yeah, one, I don't know if the phones are ringing, and two, he's contracted to be in the season.
And also, boy needs to get paid.
Yeah. And so Darren Star did say is that they very deliberately took him out of all the main storylines this season and didn't have him and Emily interact very much, and very specifically tried to keep them apart only to keep their love story going.
Yeah.
He didn't say that last bit, I added in. But he's like, we can't keep going. No, reading between the lines. We just make stuff up here. No. He was saying they needed to have a bit of a break, reset, let them go on their own path. And I read that because he's obviously going to have them end up together.
Yeah, they have to end up together.
And to have them end up together, we can't have another season of them like having like little spats back and forth, or just hanging out together at Friends. It takes the passion out of it. And he's like, I wanted the audience to miss Gabriel. And I was like, yeah, that was really good because he was getting almost too much.
Especially, which we'll probably get into a bit later, but the train scene. Yeah. I did actually miss him.
Yeah, and I think that's important. You're like, there's that nice haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that man's become, don't
forget your knives.
Yeah. Emily had to miss him and we had to miss him. So actually, this is why Darren Star is the man he is. He's very smart. And so that is kind of where we find ourselves now heading into season 5. We had a brief moment where Gabriel appeared in Rome. I screamed, scared everyone on the couch next to me. Well, he just appeared.
Yeah.
And then Sylvie took him to breakfast. Remember that?
Yes. Okay, so I think that scene happened a bit too soon for me.
Oh, really?
Because I was still trying to wrap my head around her being in Rome.
Oh, okay.
Because you get a lot of like placement shots of her like with Marcello, and then them just like riding around the city, and then them just like having conversations. So you are only just probably in 5 minutes time, you're learning that they're in a fully formed relationship. She's embedded herself in Rome. She's got her lifestyle put together. Like she's got her daily routine done. And then you see Gabrielle. So the stakes weren't that high in my head.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm still trying to piece together like her life.
Oh, like in my head that they sort of placed it there because they were trying to sort of hit us straight away with like where the storytelling was and like and get that part out of the way quickly, but also to set up the dynamics of where everyone was. But yeah, that's fair enough that it happened too early. So what we see of Emily's life is like she's loving Rome. Yeah. She's loving Rome in a way, as she says, Rome has welcomed her in a way Paris never did.
I know. I know her. She does love it. And like she looks really good. Like that first episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, you look really good.
Okay, what did you think of the haircut? So famously, Lily Collins picks her hair for every season. She's allowed to do that. And she is just kind of like, this is what I want to do to my hair. So this is where the character's going. And then they kind of write it into the script. So last year she wanted to get bangs. So they wrote it into the story as trauma bangs. She never explained why she got the super thick hair extensions. But I get it. If anyone gets that, I do. And then this season she said she just always wanted to do the really chic bob, and she just went ahead and cut it and was like, it makes sense for Emily this season because she's in Rome, and then they just kind of like just go with it for the story.
She looks so good with a bob.
Yeah, she can really pull off a bob.
I am obsessed with her hair as a bob. Then now when I saw like old episodes of her with the long hair, I'm like, that doesn't suit you. Like it doesn't look like you at all.
She has the bone structure for a bob. Yeah. Not everyone can say
I'm
that,
obsessed. Were people annoyed with the bob?
Oh, well, I mean, people always rip apart what she looks, but no, I don't think the bob. I think people hated the bangs more.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, that makes sense.
But a bang is hard to pull off.
I love the bob, and I also think the bob worked with all of her outfits.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about the fashion quickly this season because she did look amazing. I liked it much more than season 4. Season 4, I felt like she was... I know they were leaning into the suiting, and I actually do love how the clothes tell such a big story in Emily in Paris. I know people think it's a silly show, but like when in the whole first season, she really looks like an American girl living in Paris.
Yeah.
Who just is still wearing her normal kind of like Chicago basic bitch, kind of millennial outfits. And then each season you see her like adapting a bit more. Last season I thought was almost like overly costumey with the suits.
Yeah.
Too much.
It felt like overdone.
This season I loved all of it.
I liked all of it, but I think she also suits the like temperature of Rome.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really like her winter dressing as much. And I think like the chicness of like the Italian wear that she was wearing just suits her style so much more.
Oh, exactly. Like the beautiful cocktail dresses. And they had a mix of like new designer and also they had a lot of like archival pieces mixed in there. Like the team did such a good job.
And even like the beautiful like linen shirts and stuff she was wearing, and her jewelry was so good.
Yeah.
I think it just suited her. And also like how she's developing as a character because like originally she is the head of the Rome branch, like the Italy branch. And I think they were also suiting her up to be like Sylvie's equal. Yeah. And I think that worked really well.
Yeah, that's such a good call. And you know what? Something I don't have any time for is people on the internet being like, how does she afford those clothes? That's not for us to care about.
I don't know.
That's not our business.
Who cares?
She just has them. It's a fantasy world. How did Carrie Bradshaw have all those shoes? Like, people get angry about that. Let it go.
I don't want to know. I can't count that high.
Yeah, exactly. Or people like, where does she and Mindy keep all those clothes in their tiny shared apartment?
Mindy's another story.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of Mindy's clothes this season? Holy hell.
I'm actually embarrassed for her.
Oh, really? But that's her character.
No, I feel so bad for Ashley Park.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe they
Ashley
did
Park,
that.
who we love desperately, obviously.
I know it's like her character and love Ashley Park. I know it's a character, but I think they just pushed it way too far this season.
Maybe it's
it was comical.
Well, maybe it's a little bit what's happening to Emily last season is sometimes she doesn't look like a woman wearing clothes. She looks like someone who's been put in a costume.
Yeah.
And sometimes this season, sometimes Mindy looks like she's been put in a costume. But she's always worn those very over the top crazy outfits. Like that's her look. You thought it was too crazy.
It was a bit too crazy.
Okay.
Like even like her running after Emily, and I'm like, you could put on any other of your $1 million shoes you own, and that's the ones you wear. And like her whole like character in this season is pretty much in transit, right? Like she's moving country, she's moving cities, she's moving homes. She's constantly on the go. I'm assuming she's constantly living out of a suitcase. And then her outfits were just bizarre to me.
Yeah, but I feel like they thought about that. See, Emily in Paris, they think about everything because when she goes to move in with Julien and he opens the door and she's like, I'll be here for a few nights, a week tops, and she's got 15 suitcases in the hallway. So like they're just like, yeah, that's her stuff. That's how that's her overnight bag is those 15 suitcases.
It was just like too chaotic for me.
I get that.
Yeah.
So then we're in Rome and the whole team's there too, which we didn't know was going to happen. What did you think about having Sylvie stick around for the whole time, Julien stick around for the whole time, Luke stick around?
Emily alone. She can girl boss this by herself.
Yeah, I know, but I think that everyone always knew because the team were very upfront. They had filmed the first couple of episodes in Rome and they were very clear. Then they went back to France. So some people were yelling at me, spoiler. I'm like, no, they said it.
They said it, yeah.
It was only meant to be a couple of weeks there in the show. So I think that they wanted to – I also thought Emily was more going to be there alone. They might come back and forth. But they kept the whole cast there.
I think because I loved Rome so much, I wanted them to be there for longer.
Yeah.
Like even because they were there for 5 episodes and the other 5 episodes were back in Paris.
Yeah.
I really wanted Rome to be at least 7 to 8.
Yeah.
I wanted a good stint.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I don't know if I loved the Rome episodes. The thing is, I loved the Rome episodes from season 4. They felt magical, not just because like we love seeing Rome, like obviously, but you can see that, on other movies and TV shows. It's more so like last season when they went to Rome, it's like the energy changed and the storyline changed and it just felt so fresh and exciting. And this season, they always were kind of like, it felt like they never really committed to it. So it always felt like we're just treading water in Rome. Yeah. So it was making me feel like the stakes
That's why I think they needed
high.
Something like they should have just kept Emily by herself in Rome and maybe had communication between her or like traveling between Paris and Rome. But I really wanted to see what she would be like actually doing something by herself.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were going to see too, is her living in Rome by herself and her relationship. And instead, like, it just felt like the same storylines and scenes that we had in Paris in a different city. Well, you're right. It felt like a missed opportunity to, now that we're this far into the show, season 5, to see Emily in a different environment.
Yeah. And then also making her work ethic do the actual opposite.
Yes.
Like her constantly stuffing up, her not nailing any of her presentations when she would so easily do it in Paris.
Yes.
I think they just went too far the other way.
Yeah, and that's so fair.
Like, I just want her to like have one happy time in Rome.
Yeah.
She loves it so much.
That's the thing. It all felt so kind of downtrodden.
Yeah. But it was also them saying like, we're not going to be in Rome forever, so you can't like it too much.
Yeah, so I was always just like, but like, get me to the next bit, get me to the next bit. So while she was in Rome, obviously a huge part of the storyline was her romance with Marcello Maratore.
So good.
What do you think of Marcello?
What
do you think we got to see him naked? The first time we see him, it's his bare behind, just wandering through her Roman apartment.
Yeah, very good looking man.
Yeah.
I didn't like him for Emily. I knew he would be a transit boyfriend.
Yeah.
I knew like she wouldn't be with him for long. Like it would be like a summer fling. And I think they tried to make it look more serious.
Yeah.
And I didn't fall for it.
Well, they're practically living together when we first see them.
Yeah,
so
but you're in Italy. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. And have some hot sex with an Italian man. I really don't like him as of this season.
Oh.
I liked him a lot last season. Those episodes, especially in Rome, top tier. This season, I hated him, and I can pinpoint the exact moment I started hating him. It was the truffle hunting.
That was a bitch move.
That was a bitch move from that man.
Yeah.
And I never
especially a man with sisters.
Yep. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know
men with sisters wouldn't do that.
Absolutely not.
Andrew wouldn't do that.
Absolutely not. That's my brother, if you don't know. And hello to his wife who does listen to this pod. So Emily is off to meet what she thinks is a business meeting that she has been, because that's the other thing. Like, he's like, oh yeah, my mum, Marat. And you can see she's getting stressed because she's like, no, my whole existence in Rome, my whole job is me hinged on having this business meeting with your mother. And you are not helping. And you're also running the business. So this is a business. So she thinks she's going to a business lunch in a restaurant. That's made clear that is the plan. So she hasn't imagined anything. She hasn't misread the situation. Then she goes downstairs and Marcello looks at her and goes, are they the shoes you're wearing? He was like, are you sure that they're right for lunch? And in all fairness to Emily,
I forgot about this.
In all fairness to Emily Cooper, she's like, yeah, these shoes are good for lunch. Of course they are, because they're just nice heels.
They're beautiful.
They match her beautiful outfit. And then
it's a very important meeting.
And he laughs and goes, ha ha ha, okay. And that is just like a bitch move, because he knows where they're going. They're not going to lunch. They're not going to a sit down. She thinks she's wearing a car to table shoe. We all have those shoes that you pull out of your closet and you take a deep breath and you put them on. And you're like, I'm wearing these downstairs in the car. I'm walking to the table. And once I sit at the table, I don't get up. Yeah. And then I go back in the car, and that's all these shoes can do.
Yeah.
She gets there to meet his mum and his sisters who don't like her. Classic sister behavior.
Oh, God.
And the whole family is already like kind of like pitting her and laughing at her.
Oh, look at the American girl in her heels.
Because she's dressed ridiculously, and no one stops to kind of explain. Like, Emily does go, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And then everyone kind of just laughs at her.
But then they also go to him like, why didn't you tell her?
Yeah.
And then he kind of blamed it back on her.
Yeah. He's like, I tried to tell her.
He was like, try and get Emily out of these heels. I'm like, what?
I'm sure if you'd said to her, hey, we're going tramping through the forest for hours, truffle hunting with dogs. And if you've been truffle hunting, it can be quite an extensive thing.
Yeah.
I've done it once. Me talking like I know.
You've done it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In Italy. But you're going through terrain. You're digging on the ground. You're like walking through the woods, like, you know, it's not heel weather. And then she looked like an absolute idiot stomping through the forest in her heels. And he did that to her.
I know. And then he made fun of her for looking at a truffle that's not really a truffle.
The stinkhorn.
And then he calls her stinkhorn for the rest of the season.
Stinkhorn.
I'm like, she didn't ask for any of this. And then
I would have left him right there. She's left men for less.
Yeah, honestly. Anyone would. And then they go to his mother's house and they do lunch. And like still none of them like her.
Exactly.
Like,
and
this is the worst experience I've ever had watching this.
I was like hands over my face like I'm watching a horror movie because that's what it felt like. Yeah. And his sister's glaring at her and they're like, oh, Emily, your shoes are ruined. And she's like, oh, that's fine. Like, they're shaming her because her shoes are ruined because her bitch boyfriend didn't tell her.
And then talking in Italian about her while she's there. Like, oh my God.
That family, they should stay in Solitano. So that's when I stopped liking him. Obviously, he had a lot of different temper tantrums over the season, which I also didn't care for.
He's a hothead.
He is, and not in a sexy way, in like a petulant. He's, in
a little boy way.
He's so like, how like family.
You're reminding me how much I don't like him. And I was like, no, he's hot.
I'm sorry, he is hot. And they do have some romantic moments. Sorry, not to ruin the whole like brothers with sisters fantasy thing for you.
It's not a fantasy thing for me.
No, that the guy's nice. Because
I just think that men who have sisters are usually a safe green flag.
Well, I mean, not always. I'm not talking about my brother. But I'm just saying, if you're the only boy in a family full of women, then you can be like the little prince, like you're the man, like you either people give in to you because you're like the little brother, which I think he kind of is in this situation in this family, or there's this whole thing of like, well, you're the man of the house, like the parents it's just a thing. Like the only boy can get away with murder and be very pampered. And I think he acts like that every time he has a tantrum, especially the only son of a rich family.
Yeah, because he's like crying and then he's like, but there's no money to save me.
Yeah. That's life, my friend.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I feel like you loved him and then I've ruined it.
Yeah, but you know what? This is a hard truth.
We had to face this. Yeah. He's a bitch boyfriend. And so
it was so funny. I was just like, I love that man. And you were like, I hate that man. I was like, yes, same.
Yeah, sure.
I also hate that man.
Well, I feel like I presented a good case.
You did. No, you did.
Like he did other stuff after the shoes, but the shoes would have been enough. I was so angry over that. And so then we have Mindy come to Rome as well.
Where are these people getting all their money from? I know we talk about this, but come on.
Well, I guess Agents Grotto's funding Emily's trip there, and Mindy, she just did Chinese pop star.
That's true.
She says, I'm famous in Rome, I'm famous in China, not in France. This is probably good for her.
Yeah, she's working really, really hard, and she needs to work hard because what's that Sylvie's stepdaughter who's working back in Paris?
Oh, Genevieve.
Yeah, she does not want anyone to work at all.
I love Genevieve becoming this like
low-key destroying everyone's life.
Becoming the villain of the season.
But she was made out to be a much bigger villain in season 4. Like they were building her up as someone who was going to like jeopardize her and Gabriel's relationship. And then they just stuck her at the front desk and now she's just annoying.
Now she's trying to take Emily down from the inside.
But everyone knows she's really bad at her job.
So bad. Again, it just the whole Nepo Baby conversation was so funny. And then they're just like, well, you should fire her. And Emily just walks across the event to fire her. I'm like, girl, I think they meant tomorrow at the office.
Come on, Jesus. She's having a good time.
Actually, to be fair, maybe Sylvie didn't. She's like, fire her now. I liked Genevieve, R.I.P. She's still alive, but she's off the show.
I reckon she's going to come back with vengeance, like Scrappy-Doo and Scooby-Doo Mystery Island.
Wearing her bonjour bitch hat. We haven't seen the last of her. Hopefully we have. And so Mindy rocks up to Rome, which is where our big central storyline really kicks off because she's coming to sing at the Bavazza party. Where they want her to sing in the
espresso martini glass.
Martini glass. Yeah. And that whole thing where they're like, no, it can't be an espresso martini. Like, yes. And she's like, don't you see the problem with that? And then she does the Sabrina Carpenter espresso cover, which I loved.
Also, great speakers in that situation. To move a sound from a moving boat to a building.
The boat's so far away when they start.
And they're all like, there she is.
And she just comes in.
Where's the sound
and everyone
from?
Starts singing along straight away. I'm like, the boat is still so far away.
The funny thing is, you can't hear the sounds of the boat in the microphone. Like no sound changes at all. It's just pristine the whole way through.
And I saw some pushback on socials and from people saying like she just flew in and how did she have time to rehearse those dances?
And where did she get that outfit from?
That's not for us to know.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's not our business. Do I want to spend 20 minutes like watching a 2-hour session of her choreographing that dance for those boys? No. I just want the magic of Mindy Chen just getting off the boat and singing.
And she gets in that martini glass quite easily.
Yeah. Well, she's a pro.
Yeah.
She's already been at the Crazy Horse for like quite a while now. So
how do you think she gets out of it?
I think.
And when do you think she gets out of it?
We should have called Dieta Von Teese, the original like inner glass dancing lady, to find that out. Because I think they have to pull her. They pull Dieta Von Teese out like upward.
Surely she has to like the song ends and then they're like, everyone back on the terrace for canapé. So then the doors close and she can like take a private moment to get out.
Yeah.
Because you can't get out that sexily. I don't think. And you
Why
can't ruin the illusion either.
No one asked that question in all the interviews they did.
I was thinking that the whole
way. All
way
right,
through.
season 6. This time I'll say yes to interviewing them because I decline this time. I'm like, can't talk to my favorite actresses. Next time I'll ask them.
You have to do it for like at least when they do the very last season. You have to do
Maybe I'll do the last season. I'll be like, hello guys, it's your biggest fan. No, but seriously.
No, but seriously. I know you've never seen me before.
Yeah. So this is also when we start to have. Okay, it's time to talk about this. We can't avoid it any longer, even though I hated this. The Mindy and Alfie storyline.
Why is he there?
Well, that's why they brought him back as a leading man, to have this storyline. That's all you can say. You look so disappointed.
No, the job market's really hard right now. And then you see these floozies just go about and get whatever job they want easily, making millions of dollars.
Are you talking about the actors?
No, I'm talking about the actual characters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because now he's working for the perfume man.
Yeah, but that was the big storyline from the season before because he was being transferred back to London. And then when he met Antoine.
He got a job.
Yeah. He's his chief of finance. And that's good because it keeps him in the storyline in a believable way because he's not only Sylvie's like ex-lover but also one of their biggest clients. And he has so many businesses that he's always needed marketing for. He's always coming in and he brings his chief of finance with him every time. But we know
that he's... Oh, no. Sorry, keep going.
So obviously we had that we kind of see the start of their little relationship.
Yes.
Which is them in Paris kind of being like the two people left standing, left to have dinner together and drinks, and then having that moment in Rome where they hook up for the first time. That I was kind of okay with, but I didn't like how it progressed.
Wait, so you were okay with the initial hookup?
I understand them having a flirty dinner and a flirty kiss, and I thought that's all it was going to be. I also just feel like the build-up wasn't there.
Yeah.
I just feel like these characters they've interacted a little bit, but not really.
It felt very much like, oh, we're the only single ones here. Let's hook up.
Yeah. It just also just from a storytelling point of view wasn't handled in a way that made me care about them or had the payoff. Because I was never rooting for them as a couple. I actually don't think they have great on-screen chemistry at all.
Yeah.
And the thing is they're both very charismatic actors. They have chemistry with everyone else. So they're so good that it kind of like it's not overly noticeable, but if you're like someone like me who's like always in the depths of like characters falling in love and really needs to believe it didn't work. I just feel like it felt like they had just rushed that storyline through to have it. There was no build up, so there was no kind of anticipation of them being together. And it was such a big contrast between the build up between Emily and Alfie, because that to me was the best romantic build up on the show, on Emily in Paris at all, because you had them have this meeting in their French class. They didn't like each other.
Yeah, they're a bit like enemies to lovers.
Yeah, or a classic enemies to lovers, and done so well because you really felt like he didn't like her, and you really felt like she was justified not liking him. But then they were thrown together in such a good way, and then there was such a slow burn of them kind of building up to hooking up that first time, and their first hookup is so hot. And everything, I just felt like that felt like a really earned relationship, and by the time they get together, you're just like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this. It's so good, and I didn't know if it was going to happen. It was just like, whereas these two, it was just like, oh, and you guys kiss now.
Yeah. And then it was to the point where like they were getting closer and closer and making eyes at each other from across rooms and talking about each other and like perking up when someone mentioned one of their like names, that like it was almost like shoved in our faces rather than us making that decision for ourselves, which is what those slow burns are meant to do.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest stake through the whole thing was never their relationship. Like for me, at least as a viewer, like was never like, oh, are they really in love or this? It was always just like, what's going to happen when Emily's going to find out? So it felt more like a plot device than a romance. And also I know that all the way through doing all the press, Ashley Park and Lily Collins, when they talked about it, were always like, we don't think it's a bad, like Mindy didn't do a bad thing, but she just handled it badly.
Can I talk about the press for 1 second?
Absolutely.
I feel like they were asked that question a lot because you can only really ask questions about like, I guess the trailer of what we think. And it was pretty obvious in the trailer that we knew that Mindy and Alfie would get together because they have that very like intimate moment that you see. And then so I've seen like a lot of interviews where people have been asking them, what do you think about friends who get together with other friends' ex-partners? And they took that question so seriously. I think they got really scared that it was going to be like a massive deal breaker for viewers. Yeah. Because if I was an actor and I got that question, I would be really lighthearted about it.
Yeah, same. Because it's like, it's meant to be a lighthearted thing.
And I'd be like, nah, girl, you never do that.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, look, here's what really happened.
Yeah.
And here's everything you've got to take into account. Yeah, every interview, very
So it makes
serious.
me think that even they weren't impressed with that storyline.
Yeah, or they were very worried because like Mindy and Emily's relationship has been the central relationship of the show. It's been the one big constant. And that's why also I'm like, you guys have built this friendship up in such a beautiful way. You've made it really believable of these two girls finding each other in Paris and becoming each other's family because they don't have their own families around. They're kind of positioned as being like closer than close friends. Like they live together and they sleep in the same bed every night, which I have questions about. Not in a weird way. I'm just like, you guys have been in that tiny little one.
Get another bed.
Something.
A pull out.
They don't even have a couch. They've got that little 2-seater thing. It's just such a small, it's a very believable tiny apartment for one person in Paris because Paris apartments are tiny. But, they're squeezed in there together. Anyway, so they're very close. And I just hated how it was handled because obviously you're meant to be like, oh, Mindy's in the wrong for not telling Emily. But the thing is like not telling her, continuing to hook up and then and then also when Mindy's like, we need to tell Emily. I'm like, yes, this is like the correct thing.
Like you're doing more than hooking up.
And not a moral judgment. I hate when people are like, oh, this character's bad or good. I'm like, they're normal people. They're not meant to be good all the time. But it just felt like in line with Mindy's character where she was like, yeah, we need to tell Emily. And he's like, yeah, let's take her to dinner. And I was like, that's the worst way. What do you mean take her to dinner?
Like when are you going to tell her?
Well, in between
the main and dessert.
They sat down at the dinner.
So
the
embarrassing.
3 of them.
Embarrassing for them.
Yeah. Embarrassing for all involved.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if that was me, I would, and what Mindy should have done is like, no, I'll tell her because she's my best friend and roommate. And I will, at home, when we're in our home tonight, I will sit down and I will tell her calmly so that she's at home if she's upset. Yeah. And I will tell her. And then if we want you to come over, we will call you.
Yeah. Don't make her dress up for a dinner. And then ask her to pay her portion.
And then be like, also, could you grab your half?
Also, grab your half.
Yeah. And also have the two of them sitting there. You'd feel so ganged up on.
Yeah. No, bad.
And also in a public place, it's like they're not giving her permission to act because she would have to
sneaky.
Sort of keep it together. Yeah. It felt very weird for those characters and manipulative. And also, if you're out there and you're about to tell your best friend that you're sleeping with her ex, don't take her to a restaurant.
Absolutely not.
That's just a little PSA for all of us.
PSA for everyone out there.
And so I understand it was very dramatic having Emily find out at the work event and Mindy having to moving out of their apartment, but I didn't love the apology.
Yeah. Okay. The apology was very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Because I actually don't really remember Mindy apologizing to Emily. I just remember her going, how many times do I need to apologize to you? And I'm like, did you apologize once? I don't actually remember that initial apology. It didn't feel like a grand moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the apology might have happened off screen because we see that moment where Emily finds out and then we see her walk away from Mindy and the horrified look on Mindy's face. And then it cuts to them in their apartment, looks like the next day or even a few days later, I think, where you see they're kind of walking on eggshells around each other, but Emily's quite upset.
Yeah.
And then she moves out. I didn't love the way the apology was handled just because I thought first of all, you have obviously Mindy apologizing, but then you have Emily go off and have this kind of separate storyline at the American Embassy, which we'll get to in a second because that was my favorite episode of the whole series. But in between that, then you have Emily realize that Mindy is her most important relationship, which they've always said, and then cut to Emily running to Julienne's apartment and throwing the croissants against the window in a mirror of how Mindy had chased her down the street the other day. But then you cut to inside the apartment and Mindy's sitting there talking about her relationship with Nikolai and not even giving a second thought to Emily.
It felt really rushed and really messy, and I think they wanted to show that Emily was the person in the right in that situation consistently.
Yeah.
And I think they went a bit overboard on that because I do think there is a place to have a storyline where your best friend hooks up with your ex and falls in love with them. And that can be done in a way where the best friend does seem so torn with this.
Yeah.
And Mindy just didn't seem torn at all.
No, it was it just sort of kept coming. She was oh no, Mindy also kept sort of lying to her, which is very out of character for her. Again,
and that was also brushed over, how she only told Emily that we only hooked up in Rome, and then Emily finds out that it's been going on, and then she messages Alfie saying you forgot something.
You left your underwear in our shared bed.
And he was like, haha, sorry.
I know. I'm just like, is anyone taking this seriously?
Yeah, weird.
I just think, again, we're not getting into the morals of characters because people on TV can be bad people. I'm just saying this is very out of character for Mindy Chen, who we've now known for 5 seasons. And if you're going to take someone out of character, explain why they got that way. Like, people don't suddenly change how they behave.
And even Alfie, like, he's always said after they broke up that he has so much care for Emily.
Yeah.
And he, like, loves working with her and, like, just loves her as a person. And then the whole haha sorry on a text message.
Yeah. And even like when they keep the lie going, like when they're at the Crazy Horse watching Mindy perform and she was like to them, like, should we all get dinner? And Alfie's like, I've got to leave, text Mindy, like I'm around the corner. And she's like to Mindy, like, oh, can we go and talk?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I've got to stay here. And then they go off and meet up secretly without her.
Yeah.
All these little stepping stones that just I don't think Mindy would do. But also we know that Mindy chooses Emily over anyone else because when it came down to that thing with Nikolai and the businesses in a previous season and he was like, we have to do this. We have to like basically screw over Emily. He was like, we have to do this because it's my family. And Mindy like looked across at him in the restaurant. She was like, well, Emily's my family and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's our girl. Where is she gone?
Yeah, I feel really bad. That's what I mean. I feel like bad for Ashley Park because between this storyline and her outfits, I'm like, you're not having a good season.
Yeah. And so I want, obviously we knew they would come back together. Like they're the kind of friends that would, but I kind of wanted a bit more. And obviously people do shitty things, but I wanted a bit more from Mindy in way of apology. And I didn't love the fact that it was like Emily chasing her down when she wasn't giving her a second thought. She was too wrapped up in Nikolai. Anyway, they became friends again. So that's nice, I guess.
I hope we just forget that whole thing happened.
Yeah. Well, Alfie's
actually no.
About
Alfie is going to be back in season 6 because obviously she's still in love with him and now engaged to some other dude.
Yes, which we'll get to as we talk about the final season. But I have to talk quickly about the episode that this apology happened in because even though I hated that scene, this was my favorite episode of the season, and it was the episode where Emily out in Paris by herself.
She became American again.
She became American again. A beautiful story of what we should all be aspiring to be. Paris is the worst. Choose America. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. I can't even say that with a straight face. So she sees the American pub and is very all of a sudden just she's so lonely. Gabriel's left. Camille's left. Her 2 people in her life are lying to her.
Yeah.
Like she's so lonely walking the streets of
Paris. She failed at work.
It's
she destroyed Rome, apparently.
Yeah, everyone's like, we have to get her out of here before she knocks over the Colosseum. And I'm like, again, this is not all her fault.
Oh.
I'm such an Emily apologist. It's quite embarrassing. She walks into an American pub and who does she meet but famed actor Bryan Greenberg.
I don't know who.
Oh my God. This is a scene where
I knew he was in... Oh! Is he in the Mindy Project?
He is in the Mindy Project.
He plays that hot nurse.
Yep.
Oh, I love him.
That is not... Okay, can I just tell you, when I saw him... Obviously, I knew he was in the season. That was a huge plot point. When I saw him sub to the counter, I'm like, here we go. This is what I've been waiting for. And then he says, hi, I'm Jake. My scream rattled not only the house I was in, but all the houses around us. Jake, which is his most... Okay, people know him from One Tree Hill. That is his most famous role. He is a very, very important show. He was a recurring character across multiple seasons, and the character he played was Jake Gillespie.
Jake Gillespie? Oh my God.
Basketball star and teen father.
Oh.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
The secret daughter. He had a huge relationship with Peyton, one of the main characters on the show. Everyone's like, we wanted her to end up with him, not the other main character, Lucas. And his whole thing was that he had hooked up with this, anyway, he had a daughter. It was a whole thing. His name was Jake on that. So people still know him
as Jake from One Tree Hill.
Over 20 years later, people are like, that's Jake from One Tree Hill. And so I'm assuming the writers did that on purpose.
Yeah, surely.
I'm like, and surely
I'm like, there's Ben from from the Mindy Project.
He's been in so many things, but I'd say they're his 2 big, I guess Friends with Benefits, Bride Wars, all those kind of things. But I was just like, Jake is back.
Jake's back.
And so then they have the Friends themed trivia, which I loved.
Yeah, and she was getting all the questions right. And the other girl in her team was annoyed that she was getting
but then they became friends.
Yeah, they became friends. You saw that happen in 3 seconds.
Exactly. No, but I loved it because it's again good storytelling from Emily in Paris because it just was such a kind of quick fire. It happened over a few hours. We only saw a few scenes. This is how you do a build up. It's but then you saw them kind of vibing together. And then the next day when Sylvie essentially slut shames her in a presentation. Do you remember that?
My
she
God.
shows all the photos from
L'Oreal Paris. Where she's like, Emily, what is Instagram?
Yeah.
Can I have your Instagram?
Exactly. Then goes on to show all the pictures of Emily hooking
She's like,
up
and
with-
she kissed this boy, and then this boy, and then this boy, and she was wearing L'Oreal Paris lipstick while doing all of
In
it.
the first season, Sylvie tells her not just to work in Paris to have a romance. And I would have been like, Sylvie, I did exactly what you said.
Like, I did my homework.
Yeah. And so...
And then Emily's like, how dare you? On the 4th of July, you disgraced my name. I'm taking the rest of the day off.
where she heads to the American embassy to go to the party.
And she got to eat hot dogs for allegedly the first time since she's been in Paris.
I would believe you can't find a hot dog in Paris. I've never seen one there. And then she and Jake... Still can't believe that's his name.
Ben.
Jake Ben has they have like quite a kind of romantic day, and then they go under the embassy and the little mini mart where there's like a mini mart full of American food. Okay, anyone correct me if I'm wrong. I searched high and low to find out if that's real. Apparently it's not.
Oh,
just
boring.
But then I've heard I couldn't find anywhere officially that it was real, but then some people are saying it's real.
Well, I feel like if you have it in one embassy, you'll have to have it in all of them, and I don't think that would have it in all of them.
Oh, it would be great if it was real. I so wanted to be like, as a fun
Let's go
fact
to the American embassy here.
Okay.
And like break in and see if we can find it.
Okay. We just definitely got put on a watch list, but that's fine.
We have to. It's for work.
I'll be like, we're just here to see if you guys have a little, do you have some Pop-Tarts downstairs? What's down
there?
there?
Can I have a Pop-Tart?
So there's been such a perfect build-up to Jake, Ben and Emily's romance of like their meet cute and like their like lovely kind of day in the American embassy and sitting on the floor eating food. So romantic.
Yeah.
They're watching fireworks.
I know. It's really
Things could
nice.
not be more romantic. And then the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone in the whole world happens, which is Emily has the realization that Mindy is her family, which is so lovely. And poor Jake Ben, sweet Jake Ben, doesn't realize that she's not talking about him. And fair enough to him, they're in a rom-com.
Yeah.
In any other world, that he is correct that she's hitting on him.
100%.
And he leans over to kiss her.
And the thing is he's so much taller than her, so that lean was long.
It was so long, and he couldn't even pretend he was doing anything else because, like, why would you be
leaning?
leaning?
And there were so many people behind them watching.
I didn't even think of that.
And in her face, she went, "Oh, not you."
Oh, not you, not you. No, she says, "Oh, not you." She says it. And he's like, "Oh," and he's the most embarrassed a human being has ever been.
And he has to like go all the way back up.
Yeah,
after
that took
bending
so
all the way
long.
down.
Yeah, again, as a fellow tall person,
as the fireworks are still
you don't
going.
lean down for no reason. Otherwise, it's a long journey back
Yeah.
up. And then he looks so mortified, which fair enough.
And he's wearing a suit.
He's wearing a suit at a barbecue. I know. It's just, and then she was like, "Bye, I have to go," and leaves him.
Yeah, and chases
then
after Mindy.
All of a sudden, one of the best romances she's ever had is just destroyed.
Oh, so worth
Can I
it,
tell you
though.
something? Oh, really?
Yeah, he's so hot.
He is. No. Okay, yes. Worth it to like get rid of him. I'm like, no.
Oh, no, it isn't worth having that moment.
Can I tell you something? So season 6 has been confirmed.
Is he in it?
He's in it. I don't know in what capacity.
Oh, please, they have to
But
get together.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, stop. He's so hot.
He invites her to another barbecue. Well, he needs a redemption arc. We can't leave poor Jake Gillespie looking like
he
an
calls
idiot.
the president, "I need another barbecue in Paris ASAP."
He's like, "I know you are moving me, but I need to stay here." So that was the end of that moment, but it does lead to the reconciliation with Mindy.